evening, ladies and gents. We left off with you guys in the in what would be considered the living quarters of this Eon's facility. And the sound system, the intercom system, just turned on, and you very faintly hear singing.
And we've been looking through the different. We've gone through like a couple of the living quarters in this area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, kind of. Baron kind of peeked and shut the door.
Yeah,
Peeked and
yeah.
shut the door.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
You're all hearing that over the loudspeaker too, right?
Man, I was really hoping I wasn't.
Right.
As y'all are saying that, Maylene will reach into her coat and pull out a small music box. And this is a bleed detector TM.
Mm-hmm.
And crank it just to see if the music starts to stutter, speed up, slow down, anything like that, to phenomena in the area, to see if there's a direction for this or if it's just everything.
If I remember right, you were pretty close to me. When we
Yes.
ended. So she pulls out this music box. I'm gonna look at her. Okay. Yeah, enough of all the music. And I'm just gonna slowly make my way back to away from this door.
So I think the music box kind of moves slowly in its attempt. Everything down here is touched by bleed, but it seems like it's a steady enough level that it's not truly affecting anything at the moment. You're not in danger on this level.
All right. Maylene will turn to the rest and say, obviously, this place is steeped in phenomena, but right now, it's not dangerous. I'm going to keep this out just in case something changes, though.
I imagine it plays like Flight of a Bumblebee when it gets sped up.
In the worst scenarios, it's rushy, just full on.
Alan's like, what do you suppose the chances there's survivors here?
I don't know. I think we would have seen more evidence of people living in this area if there were survivors. At least, something in the kitchen or the lounge. Can't imagine anybody just staying cooped up in their room.
And if there's survivors from the airship, they would have gone looking for shelter, and this seems like a good spot for them to have looked for it.
Unless something forced them down.
True.
The voice singing over the loudspeaker, is it like a song that I'm familiar with, or does it sound like, what does the voice sound like?
The voice sounds like a child.
Okay.
It's it seems like she's making up words. She's singing about a cat, and this cat is on a ledge, and it's looking out the window, watching the fish swim by. And you kind of get the sense that maybe she may have seen a cat in the structure at some point, sitting on a ledge, watching the fish swim by.
Oh,
And it's to the tune of "Pop Goes the Weasel."
I think Colin will start looking around. Where is that Tabby?
You left him on the boat, remember?
Yeah. I also leave him in the store a lot too, but
And just looking around in the areas that we can see, there's no sign of like any kind of pet care, right? No bowls of water or anything like that on the ground
No.
that would indicate somebody's taking care of it. Okay, all right. Um, uh, how much more of this level is there to explore? Just out of curiosity, like, does it look like there are still quite a few bedrooms or quite a few facilities down here?
Probably quite a few bedrooms, but if you want to spend the time looking through bedrooms, then that's up to you. So far the ones that Baron and Maylene checked, nobody's come out of.
Yeah. I'll turn to everybody too, and I'll say, well, if there's anything that's gonna attract people out of here or out here, I think it'd be that voice in the speaker system. Nobody seems to have or nobody's responding to it right now. I don't know what to make of that. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I'm in agreement with you. Perhaps we should press forward.
Just stay on your guard as we move.
Let's see. And again, I'm gonna say, uh, Aileen, you keep an eye on that bleed detector, all right? Everybody, just stay behind me. Let me lead the way. And I've still got that. I've still got that makeshift torch, right? That Colin made.
Yes, I don't remember
Long.
you getting rid of it.
Yeah, it was like that long piece of pipe with the fabric wrapped around it.
Yep.
I'm gonna keep that ahead of me. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna hold on to that with one hand, and then kind of have my other hand ready at my my hunting knife at my hip, and we're good to descend down to the third level. Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Oh yeah.
You kind of see Colin put his hand in his bag, and when he pulls it back out, he's adjusting brass knuckles on his hand.
Oh, fantastic! That's awesome. All right, I'll head down to the. I'll head to the stairs then, and then down to level 3.
So going down the stairs at the first landing, you hear this scraping noise. And it sounds like metal on metal scraping. Just one direction or the other. And when
Somewhere. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
when you come further down, you see that it is a sliding bulkhead door that is trying to lower. And it gets stuck about halfway and raises back up.
Is this the entrance to level 3?
Yes.
Okay. And
the stairs do continue on further down, but this is the
Yeah.
entrance to level 3.
How large is the opening that's kind of left? Like, is the bulkhead sliding down to waist level or to, knee level and getting stuck and then sliding back up, or is it bigger than that?
It's sliding down to about waist level.
Waist level. Okay. I'll give a crouch, and put the I'll kind of get on my haunches, I suppose, and put the torch a foot or two into that opening and then peek in.
The inside of this room looks like this is where their security offices would have been.
Okay. And I'll communicate that to everybody back there. I'll kind of ask you all. Looks like maybe security offices. We could find something useful here.
If the power's still running, you think maybe we might be able to see up ahead?
Oh, that's a good question. Am I just seeing by the light of the torch?
There's the emergency lighting that was on
sure,
the
yeah.
upper floor. The only floor out of the 3 floors you've seen so far that has full electricity was the living quarters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we still hear the singing?
Yes.
Ever present,
Oh.
that voice. Maylene will speak up and just say, remember, the information we found before mentioned nerve gas, and she'll be handing everyone a handkerchief to just hold in front of their face if they need to.
Mm.
It won't do much, but it's something.
Okay.
Much
like,
appreciated.
I'm
I'll
like
tuck that into my breast pocket.
zip my jacket all the way up a little bit more, pull my hood closer, and kind of put my hands in like the pockets in the front, kind of like the starter jacket type of feeling. You know what I mean? And then Baron's gonna. I'll just. If y'all are gonna check this here, I'm gonna take a peek at the next level down just to get an idea what it looks like. But I'm not going anywhere else. I'm gonna stay on the stairwell. Just letting you all know as he kind of backs off a little bit. Though I want
You
to
want
just
to take the
see.
torch with you?
No, I'm good. I can see. I just want to. I don't want to take my arms out right now, and I just want to like kind of like do the like little L. I don't want to go all the way full down. I just want to get a good look at what the next floor below us just looks like just like for the door.
The door below is kind of like a it's like this one, but it doesn't seem to be malfunctioning. It is closed.
I would just as casually as possible, because I am not in any way, shape, or form not terrified as Baron at the moment. You would just hear, "This door don't look broken," and there's like a sigh at the end of what he says. Just
The most nonchalant. This door isn't broken.
yeah. And I think that like I'm hoping that they get from that as in like there might be something going on that particular floor. Because if this door isn't broken, but that one is, something happened to that door.
Yeah. I'll creep through the open portal. I mean, you never know if we're gonna find like security records or something here.
Mhm.
Remember, this is where they stopped her when she tried to escape in the records we found.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll find some useful information before we find whatever she is.
Hopefully so.
Hey. Baron, I think I would Colin would walk over to you to see what you got going on over there. You said this door's not damaged?
No, I mean it still look good. If that one's malfunctioning though, if he finna trying to go through it. Somebody gotta stay on this side just to make sure it don't close.
All right, here, hold this torch for me. I'm gonna try to step over.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I'm gonna try to cautiously open the door.
I'll hold it like up, so that it's like I'm ready to like scoop him if anything happens, like with my other hand. But like this is also here to like throw and just take off. Like this is not.
He just wants to get a good look into the what's just past it, see if there's anything there. So if Colin's able to successfully, cautiously open that door, you'll see him step like half in and half out and try to see what's beyond.
All of these doors are opened with a key card.
We
they
did
can't
find
be manually opened.
Do it. Is this the one to the fourth level?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Every door from 3 down is opened with a key card.
Right, so I should still have that one from the last one, because you had the second level, right?
I had the chief scientist one.
Okay.
And there was a second level and a fourth level.
I remember having somebody had the second. I think I had the fourth. I'm not sure, but trying to look at my notes here.
In my notes.
Yeah, I don't think I have that second one.
In my
Aaron,
notes,
did you have the second level?
In my notes, it says that Jay has the second level one.
Oh, okay, all right.
No,
I mean, I guess that would make sense since I went into that since I opened up the door to the thing.
Yeah.
So okay, I'll put that down on my thing.
All right. So,
So we will get to the 4th level.
okay.
In the 3rd level, you do see a rack of batons. They have a shelf that you look like that you seem to think possibly had tasers on it, since there is one in the floor.
Mhm.
You hear the faint buzzing of a speaker, as if, you know how speakers sound when you turn them up way loud, but there's no sound actively coming through it?
Yeah, there's just that hum.
Mhm.
As if the speakers have been left on, or maybe someone is just holding a call button somewhere.
Okay.
Do the tasers look functional?
You could try one out.
Yeah, I'll grab it, aim it to, just some out of the way spot, and then pull the trigger.
We're gonna. It sparks.
Oh, okay, all right. I'll hold on to it then.
Now, this room, there are a lot of darkened screens. Some of them are busted. There's a badge in front of the screen, like
Okay.
where the monitors are all at, on the little table in front of it. As if they would need to have a badge in this facility. You got the impression that everyone here would know everybody, so you would know who was the security officers.
Hmm.
But it does say Eon Security on it.
Does it look like it would function as a key card as well?
No, it's just a decorative
badge,
badge.
okay.
Somebody needed it for their ego.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll just give the level like a quick glance, advancing carefully wherever. Like if it's just the security room, I'll see if there are any drawers or anything like that with logs or more cassettes, anything that might just give us some more insight on what happened here.
There are multiple incident reports of employees having issues and fighting, employees having mental breakdowns and having to be quarantined. There is a folder that says level 4 quarantine.
Okay.
Okay. And that has some of those incident reports in those.
Yes, it has multiple incident reports, and one of them describes a fungus that seems reminiscent to the orange fungus you found 2 floors up.
Okay, good to know. I'll tuck those away in my pack as well. And if there's nothing else of note, I'll head on down to where Colin and Baron are. And actually, Lyria, is Maylene just behind me still?
Yeah. So Maylene
Okay,
has
all right.
been following behind, but keeping an eye behind both of us while keeping the bleed detector out, just in case something decides to sneak up.
Yeah. Okay.
Down on level 4, this door opens with a key card. Do you want to use your key card?
Yeah.
Okay. So as this door slides open, it's slow moving. There's a flashing light in the center of it, and it's a red emergency light that is just flashing. But as you're standing in the doorway looking into this room, you see these big the big canisters that typically when we watch a sci-fi movie, they're where bodies are being grown.
Okay.
Oh.
I don't know what to specifically call them, but they are the growing tubes, and you see like not necessarily humans. These are creatures you've never seen before, being preserved in these tubes.
Hmm.
I'm gonna try to inspect the area a bit better. Trying to look for see if any of these tubes or cases may be broken, fractured, or in some way, like if something got out.
Um,
The second we see the suspension canisters, Baron's just like, man, it just couldn't be simple.
no.
This far out? No, I don't think it would.
Yeah.
Roll a focus roll for me, Colin.
All right, I think I'm going to burn 2 drive for that. Yeah, I'm gonna burn 2 drive for that. Oh. Mark those.
In my other hand, inside my pocket now, I like pull out and I just take a sip of my it would be, if anybody would happen to notice, it's a flask that people haven't seen yet. It's just a silver metal flask.
Okay, that's pretty good. I got 2 4s.
4s. So coming into this room, you see a lot of creatures you've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them you've only seen in research journals as sketches. You think these could be the same creatures. You do see a few busted containers. One of them looks like it has the orange fungus from upstairs growing out of it.
Mm.
One of them looks like it was growing a mold, not a mold, like mushrooms up the walls. Like they intended for it to be a terrarium sort of case
Okay.
to see what could grow in it.
He'll just point at noticing it, Baron, like kind of gesturing, like, well, that explains that.
Yeah.
Keep
Everything.
your
I'm just making faces at everything.
yeah, but just watch your step and keep your eye out. There may be something else here.
Of the things that look not human, but also not plant, do any of them look like anything that I would have seen in the shadows before?
There is a worm-like creature. The way it is positioned, you can see that its mouth has a full circle of fangs.
Mm-hmm.
And you know these to be the enderphage. That they, if you know the right people to talk to in the Belvedere, these particular things make people feel numb
Mm-hmm.
for hours.
Okay. It's just suspended behind glass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tap it.
It doesn't move.
You'll hear me just kind of breathe out. Well, good. Kind of like, and I'm gonna say it loud enough that like I'm making sure I look to see that I can still see Colin. Like I want there to be like a
Yeah.
yeah.
She's just gonna look at you like, really?
About this time is when Emil and Maylene join.
What in the hell is all this?
Drugs.
Watch your step.
Just say drugs.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I'm pointing to the
The mushrooms.
the ender. No, the ender
Oh,
phage thing
The enderphage.
that I
Oh,
know
the
about.
enderphages.
It's like
Yeah.
the only thing I recognize here. I'm like, it's drugs. Is what that is. I promise you.
Just for
Emil, do you want to roll me a focus roll?
Yeah. Let's see, 1 second. I have 1 die on focus. I'm going to spend a drive on that to make it 2 dice.
Mhm.
You should gild it. We have 3 of those.
Oh. Yeah, should I?
Yeah.
yeah,
mind.
it'll add a die to it.
Okay, all right.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'll burn one of the circle.
Yeah, take one.
I've got 3 gilded dice. Or 3 dice. I did get a 4, but it was not the gilded die.
It's cool.
So, depending on the stakes, I think that's a mixed success. At best. At worst, it's
Oh.
nothing.
As you come around these tubes, you don't really recognize much of these creatures. These seem like things they've kept here. And most of the stuff in this room is contained in a tube that you could probably almost touch your fingers if you were to hug it. Not that anyone would want to hug these tubes. But as you're rounding this line of tubes, you come face to face with something you have seen. And you have seen this structure of the beaked face that the bones protrude back, and you've seen its mouth, and in this pose, and they have everything in here posed, its mouth is open so you can see its fangs.
Oof.
And you have seen these things in the darkness, and its face is level with yours, but you know that its body stretches back and higher, as if they wanted it to be eye level with a person.
I let out a really audible, cry. It's not quite a scream, but it's certainly a little bit more than a yelp. And I fall back on my butt, and I kind of just start scurrying away, as memories, of dealing with this thing, of having seen this thing out in the wild, kind of fill my head. My heart starts to race, my breath starts to speed up and get heavier and deeper. And it's not moving, right? It's kind of just frozen inside.
Yeah, it's a taxidermied statue is the best
it's like a
way I can
specimen.
describe it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just staring at it wide-eyed, when I see that it's not moving, I start trying to calm myself down. At this point, my hand is fidgeting at the hunting knife handle at my hip, and that's kind of what I'm using to try to refocus myself.
Hearing the cry, Maylene will rush over, thinking that something has gone very wrong, and just start asking, "What is it? What happened?"
I point at that thing and I say, it's nothing, apparently. I don't know why they've got one of these things in here. These things aren't easy to take down. But, it's nothing, I'm sorry. And I pick myself up and I say, better a stuffed one of those than a live one.
While that was happening, what did Colin do?
In that moment, he probably would have turned back to look to see what was all the ruckus.
The second there's a scream, the best way to describe the way Baron does this is wherever the darkest point of this room is, I just kind of fade into it a little bit. I'm just moving back into this shadow to keep myself I want to make sure I can still see them as a pan thing, but I also want to make sure I can see the doorway. Like I want to get a bigger, like the biggest, like angle on the room as possible without me like being in it. If you get what I mean. Like I want it's like and it's like a reaction that he has, like to make sure that like he's covering all bases. And if I was holding the torch still, I would have put it down. It would be on the floor, and I would just walk back away from it with my hands in my pocket.
Okay.
My pocket's like, no, we can't. And it's like a full on, like, very, very visceral reaction. Like how he has like this, how Jay has a reaction to this thing. This is my reaction to like trouble.
So you all see this taxidermied statue of this very large creature, and it is the largest thing in the room. And you get the sense that this may have been an experiment here at one time, but upon its death, they decided it would be kept as a trophy instead of contained like the other ones.
I think Colin would walk over to you, to the two of you, seeing if you needed any assistance getting up.
At this point, Maylene is reaching down a hand to try and help you up.
Yeah. I'll take it, and
she'll just say, "Go take a breath, step away, try and clear your brain."
I look at the music box in your hand, and if it's not reacting, right? Right?
It's just playing at a slightly faster pace than before.
Slightly faster. Okay, all right. I mean, it's not necessarily. I mean, that thing isn't moving. The music box isn't being frantic or anything. So I clear my mind with a breath, like centering myself. I look at you, Maylene, and I kind of give you a closed-eyed nod, and I start like slowing my breathing. And Colin, when you approach, I turn to you and I say, I don't know exactly what they were doing down here, but is there anything we can take away, anything we can learn from these things, specimens that they've got contained?
In that moment you said it, Colin kind of has that like light bulb in his head go off. And he goes, "Oh!" And he reaches into his pocket from the glasses he took from the crewman, and he pulls them out and he goes, "Yeah, let's see what we can see." And he kind of just mutters some words, like in a ritual almost, as he's holding these frames in his hands, these specs, you know. And I'm going to take a mark of bleed for that, as I do a ritual to remote view to see a moment.
That's wild.
And he just puts them on to see a moment that happened here in the room.
That's so cool.
So you only see the moment?
I can only. It says it's called remote viewing. It's basically I can view the moment, a moment that occurred in the room.
So as you're looking around this room, it does seem like there is a sealed window with a metal shutter. And in this window, you do see a cat sitting on the ledge, watching a school of fish swim by. But you also see a little girl sitting with the cat, watching a school of fish swim by. And this little girl is singing about this cat stuck underwater as it spreads its wings when it stretches. And moments later, you watch as a little can bounces across the floor and hits the wall underneath the little girl, and gas spews out of the can.
Interesting. There's a child here. The song. She was with the cat. And someone gassed her. He kind of just takes the specs off, like looking around.
That seems to track with what we saw in the research notes above.
It's very peculiar, though. Seemed like she was stretching of some sort, and that's when the canister came into play. They must have been watching her very closely. Do we feel ready to press forward? Where's Baron? Looking around.
As you look around, you just hear from one of the shadows, "Present."
I'm gonna say, hey, watch out when you do that. If we don't know where you are, we can't fish you out of a problem if something happens.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Habits.
You'll see kind of Colin like rubbing the bridge of his nose as he's trying to like refocus himself, putting the specs away.
Before we move on, Maylene will step forward and just say, if the girl was sitting with the cat and she seemed happy and she's singing about it now, maybe we see if there's any signs of that cat still around. Perhaps a food bowl, a toy that it might have played with. Just in case.
Oh, yeah. Psst, 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 psst. I just put my finger up and start doing this.
I doubt the cat itself is still here.
I know. I'm just trying to lighten the mood a little bit.
DM, when I saw that moment, did I recognize anything about that cat? Did it seem familiar?
Looked like an orange tabby with wings. You have never seen Niklaus with wings.
No. But before we press on, just understand the feline itself was a bit odd as well.
Seems like that's a prerequisite for being here.
Yeah, now that I think about it, there's a voice singing here. That doesn't necessarily mean that cat's not here either. Suppose we should just keep our eyes open.
Multiple entities at play at the moment. We must be very careful and tread very softly.
As you're all moving down towards the next floor, your steps feel a little lighter.
God.
Like maybe you're a little more buoyant here, as they describe gravity on the moon. If you jump, you may not come back down.
This is an odd sensation.
I grip the I'm not big on flying or anything like that, or being off the ground, so I grip the railing tightly. I say, what in the hell is this all about?
Reminds me of something my father taught me to do when I was younger.
The railing feels a little squishy, but it does hold you still.
Squishy?
Squishy.
Like, is there something on the railing that I can see that would give it that quality? No? It just feels
It is
weird.
a metal railing that feels like a pool noodle.
I look back at that music box again.
It is going a lot faster.
I think Colin in that moment is going to try to feel out or sense if there's a presence here. Five.
There's not really a presence, but you do get the sense that there is a lot of magic being contained down here. The doors and the floor levels you've been passing have been thicker than the original 2 floors you passed through. As if their attempt to contain the magic was just to put more mass between it and the surface.
And he's gonna. Oh dear.
Sorry.
No, there's a lot of build up here. It feels only progressively more intense.
Where is the key card that Lyria, your character, would have? Where are you holding it?
Currently, it would be in it. You would have seen it stashed away in an outer pocket of the jacket.
The door in front of us is still closed.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody is feeling weird. Like you can, it's visible.
Yes.
And under my breath, and a little loud enough for everybody to hear, but under my breath, I'll just, man, we're not supposed to rely on our senses or whatever they say, right? And I'm gonna kind of push up a little bit, and this is very much like feeling how you feel when you are blitzed or twisted or hungover, for that matter, when it's too bad of a night. So I feel like Baron would have kind of careful footing in this moment, unlike every other time. And I would look at you and say, "Do you mind if I just I'll open the door, and I'm gonna put my hand on the key card, but I'm not gonna take it from you."
I'll say, by all means.
And I'll click it off, and I will walk very carefully, and then I'm gonna look back to Colin and the 3 of you. Yeah. And I'm very genuinely gonna say, "I'm the scout, right?" And then open the door.
I'll take a deep breath and follow along behind you. Again, just ready with either the makeshift torch or my hunting knife.
Right.
Maylene's going to try and stay slightly towards the rear of the group, just so if anything comes up behind, she's able to alert everyone.
As you enter this room, it feels more like you're swimming in water, but there is no water in this room. Your bodies start to float. And you get the sense that if you were to swim through it, you could move.
What does it look like inside?
Probably be.
It looks like the room itself looks like it was supposed to have been a boardroom for meetings. Why there would be a boardroom this far down? But all the chairs are floating. They're just kind of floating.
Colin will try to stick to the walls to pull himself along. Probably wouldn't trust trying to swim through it.
Baron's just gonna close his eyes and just start singing to himself under his breath. Because that's what I do when I want to calm myself down. And he's
So
just
you have Baron singing, and you have the intercom singing, and you have a music box.
Yep.
We're one away from a whole quartet.
I'm gonna like move forward and just kind of like he might as well be just saying, "I hate swimming. I hate swimming. I hate swimming," like under his breath.
I think the closest Maylene has ever done to swimming is dancing on silk ribbons and acting like she was swimming. So there's just kicks of the feet and the occasional wave of the arms.
I don't like this at all. I'm actually going to stay by the door and like white knuckle hold on to the threshold. I'll be ready to push off or scramble, against the wall or something like that, but I'm going to let everybody take the lead on this one.
If I see you waiting by the door, I'll pass the music box off to you and just say, if it gets any faster, scream.
As loud as I can.
I'm not swimming. I am trying to like do that weird like walk you do when you're in the pool and like it's like the water's pushing against you, but Baron is not swimming. He's just taking like a deep breath with every one of his steps, but he's just pushing forward, and if I bump into anything, he just looks for a second and then he keeps going.
And none of us have encountered a phenomena quite like this before, have we?
Probably not, since this was all your first mission with Candela.
Yeah.
Like Colin's natural instinct would be to reach into his bag to look at his text, but he knows he's never heard of anything like this before, so it's not even going to bother. He's just very confused and perplexed. He's going to keep, moving or navigating as best as he can to keep up with the two of you.
The second I get to like the midpoint of the room, you just hear, I'll like breathe out, open my eyes. So like, we got more of a plan than this?
Maylene will almost seem like she's enjoying herself as she moves. Like the faster that music box plays, the more Maylene seems to fall into her element and be almost excited. And in this moment, I think she's looking for any paperwork left behind in a boardroom that's now floating.
DM, is there another door on the other side of this?
There's not.
So this is just a closed off quarter.
Yes. And it's not nearly as big as the other floors you've been on, so you know this particular room is odd. The only paperwork you find in here looks like at one point it was notes, and then a child took and drew on these notes.
I think Maylene will pocket a couple of the drawings.
I need for you to mark a bleed.
Okay. And they'll be put basically in the lining of the jacket alongside the Requiem binder from above.
This particular room, other than feeling like you're swimming in the air, it really doesn't look like much.
Do we see any sort of access points, like a what do you call it, like vents or something?
There is a filtration system in here. You assume it probably connects to the other floors to cycle air, to clean it, to cycle out any chemicals.
Is this the last floor?
No.
There's 2 more, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we know of.
I would just turn and make my way back to the doorway and
Yeah.
just say, well, I mean, I guess let's go get weirder.
Oh, dear
Emil,
God.
are you in the room or are you still outside in the stairwell?
I'm just inside the room.
Okay.
Like I'm inside the room, but I'm holding onto the door, the threshold. And I've got the music box in my other hand. So I guess I probably would have put the torch down somewhere, just kind of like on the ground burning.
They probably got left upstairs with the creatures.
Oh yeah, I mean that's possible. I could have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I could have let it go, and then yeah. That makes sense.
Oh wait, so if you left toward did you leave the flashlight when you put it down and slink into the shadow? Oh, so we're just operating with the emergency lights.
Gotta love it.
Oh shit!
Right.
I mean,
That's
I made the comment that I put it down in front of you, like it was noticeable. Like if you would you could have grabbed the flashlight easily on your way out. I definitely put it down in a noticeable spot.
Okay.
That's why I made the comment the way I did. But I mean, that's up to our DM and what y'all want to say you did. I definitely did not take that flashlight.
Yeah, I was not. I was bolting out of that room after seeing that thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or ready to leave that room. I was pretty shaken.
I was like, the darker everything gets, the better for how I feel. So.
Gotcha. So the lights upstairs.
Yeah.
Is everyone leaving the boardroom?
Yes.
I'm gonna try to take one more look around before I try to exit. Um, I'm just trying to see anything that's out of place, maybe uh, something that might be causing all this gravitational shift. What aside from magic buildup?
In this room, it just looks like someone cast a float spell on everything. There's no artifacts in here. There's nothing of magical importance. It's a large table and chairs, some files floating about as well.
So he's gonna push off the nearest wall to try to float towards the door.
Maylene will follow behind, seeing everyone leave.
Having a good time swimming.
Oh yeah.
Is Emil the first one through the threshold?
Yeah, I think so. Like when Baron approaches and says, "Let's, things are gonna get weirder," I say, "Oh God, I hope not weird in this way."
We may need to backtrack for a moment, but I don't know. This is
Yeah, if you mention that we don't have a light, I'll be all too happy to walk back upstairs and grab it.
Except when you cross the threshold, you're now in a library.
Oh.
Oh.
I I reach out. Okay, so am I by the doorway of the library?
Yes.
Wait, so did he just vanish from our sight?
Yes. Looking out the room into the stairwell, he
Mm-hmm.
is not there.
Hmm.
And if I turn around, there's a doorway behind me.
Yes.
Closed or open?
It's open. You can see the stairwell.
Oh, okay. I look around at the library. Do I see signs of anything like I'm shocked, right? I don't know what the heck just happened. But like my voice is gonna catch in my throat, and I'm gonna look around like I want to call out, but I don't. But I stop myself before kind of playing my hand, I suppose. Um, how big is the library? Like, how far can I see?
The shelves are about 8 feet high, but you can see down this one row about 30 feet until it makes a turn.
Okay. And I don't see anything like moving, like
No,
no piles of books on the ground or anything like that.
you're in the middle of two shelves.
Okay.
If you
I
want to make a focus roll, if you want to know what books are on the shelf, are the rest
Yeah.
of you trying to find out where Emil went?
So I was gonna say, like, I gotta say, like, I was physically walking out the room. Like, whether even if Emil like turned and like went first, like I
Mm-hmm.
was pushing very quickly behind him. Like I was,
Oh, so then
Like
you
a
would
half
have.
step behind.
yeah, I was like definitely like I was going to pass by him if he was still holding onto the door. Because
Gotcha.
in my head, I was like, the room's messed up. I can go sit in the corner near the stairwell and get a better look at everything. So like, I definitely am a half a step behind him. I don't know if I'm in the same room as him now, but
You
this
step
is
into a library.
word.
Which, Baron, have you ever heard of a library before?
We established you didn't go to college.
I think Baron would look around. Baron would look around and be like, "Now we in a bookstore."
Oh, and like as soon as I see that I'm in a library, I mean, I'm gonna stop walking. I'm gonna stop moving forward, right? So I assume Baron kind of just like plows behind me.
Probably.
Okay.
All right. If that happens, then I kind of leap forward about 5 feet, and I turn around, and I'm in a sort of fight ready pose. And at this point, like I've got the music box in one hand, but with my free hand that was clutching at the door jamb, it flies down to my waist, and I pull that hunting knife out, and I start brandishing it.
Um, still hands in my like hoodie pocket. I'm just gonna look and be like, "Whew, man, that's not needed." Like,
Ugh. Ugh. Where the heck is this? I uh I kind of rush past. I holster or I sheathe the knife again, and I like not even paying attention to you. I rush past you to like not full on step through the door, but I'm gonna put my hands on the door, like a hand on the door, and like stretch out and look at the stairwell beyond. Like, does it look like the stairwell we've been descending down?
It looks like the stairwell.
man.
Uh, do I hear anything above or below? Well, first of all, do I see? So I see steps going up above us. Do I see steps going down below us?
Yes.
Okay. And do I hear any indication of where Maylene and Colin are?
No, but you do still hear them singing in the intercom. Whereas
Okay.
in the library, you didn't hear it. And in the boardroom, you didn't hear it.
Oh, okay. Huh. I turn back to you then, Baron, and I say, where the hell did we just? I could have sworn we were going out into the stairs.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, me too. Is it looked like you could see stairs Now we're in like a store, and I'm gonna like I want to kick one of the shelves of books. Just like tap it with my foot. I just want to see how real it feels.
It thunks. What did you roll for the focus roll?
Oh, you know what? I hadn't rolled it yet. I'm not gonna burn any drives on this one. I'm just gonna do a flat roll. So that's 1 die. I got a 5.
The shelves around you are filled side to side with books, top to bottom. But it is all the same book.
Huh.
And it is all Alice in Wonderland.
Oh boy.
Okay. After seeing that, I'm gonna, and heading back past Baron, I'm actually going to call out in the stairwell. At this point, like, I'm thoroughly freaked out, and I just want to know where everybody else is. So, I'm gonna call out, Colin, Maylene, are you here?
You hear the
So
echo of your voice on the metal. But are Colin and Maylene, have you made it out of the room?
so they had gone first, and we were still headed towards the door. Colin would have braced at the doorway, like, whoa, noticing the difference in, like, a body was there and a body was not. um, just bracing on the doorway. And he'd probably look back at Millie and be like, um, this is about to get tricky. You may want to hold.
Maylene you'll see a terrified smile come across her face. And almost as though she didn't fully hear you, you'll just hear her mutter, Miss Kreshnoff, what have you gotten yourself into today? Before pushing herself down to the ground and trying to move more steadily across the ground instead of swimming through the air
Yeah.
to get to the door.
Yeah, Colin will just gesture for you to, like, actually hold on to him.
Yeah. And she'll do so.
He'll kind of just, like, put his hand first. And then anything, DM?
No,
Putting his hand through the door? No.
you're reaching out into the stairwell.
He looks back at you, Millie. He goes, okay. And he just pulls the two of us forward.
Emil, do you want to roll a move for me?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Hold on for a second. So, if I remember correctly. Okay, I have 2 dice for move, but not a gilded die. Still have 2 drives, but I'm gonna save those for later. So 2 dice. I got a 3 and a 5.
So as you're leaned out this doorway, you feel a pressure. Not like air is blowing against you, but as if something is physically pushing against you.
Oh, so there's like a force that is keeping things in the room?
Not so much. But the longer you stand there, the more this force pushes against you until it is a body pushing against you back into the library.
Oh, all right. All right. I kind of feeling that and seeing that, I'm going to like back up, cautiously, feeling for Baron behind me, I guess.
I'm watching.
And as you're backing up, Colin and Maylene are coming through this doorway. That was the stairwell that you were just looking out into.
And they're just materializing, huh?
They are walking as if they are materializing through the doorway.
Okay, I eyes like super wide. Um, I'm going to say um I'm going to say all right, so it's not just me and Baron either.
Hmm.
Um uh I turn to the two of you as you're coming in and I say, "What do you think this is? You think this is something that somebody did on purpose, or is it just I don't know, a leftover of some sort?"
As we kind of like stumbled in, yeah, Colin's gonna be first time show some excitement on his face, like a change environment spell on a door frame. Interesting. Uh, so we're gonna have to find another way back. Uh,
And Maylene will almost be repeating what you've just said. Just, this is wonderful. This part right here. This is what I live for. And again, it's almost like she forgets that you're there as she says it. But she does let go and stand on her own 2 feet in this library.
Glancing around the
How
library, is there other ways out? Are there staircases? Are there like what am I looking at other than Alice in Wonderland?
shelves, Alice in Wonderland, and the staircase in the doorway back behind you, or that everyone has come through.
I want to test something.
hmm.
And Maylene will say that, and as she does, she'll try to step through the doorway that she just came through.
Oh boy.
Colin will probably, well, hold on a second. Hold on. Not one step further. We don't know if the transitions will remain the same. It may have been allowed us all four to meet up here, but I can't say for certain that'll happen going back through. We might end up getting diverted to different locations.
True, but there is really only one way to find that out.
I'd rather try to keep us together.
I
Is there
suppose you have.
anything? Have you two noticed anything about this room in particular?
I'm gonna say only the odd selection of literature, and then I'll
Colin
kind of,
kind of.
poke like sweep my hand down the line of the shelves to indicate it's the same damn book.
Huh. I think I'd run over and try to like pull one off the shelf.
It moves, and it looks like a brand new, pristine copy of Alice in Wonderland.
Just kind of like rummaging through it. He's just trying to see if there'd be a difference. So if there's nothing about it, he'll toss that one, pull another one, open it, try to look through that. Is it a
While
full
he's
written book?
Yeah, it's fully written. While he's doing that, does everyone else want to roll uh survey or focus?
Yes. Let's see. I'm gilded in survey, so I can certainly roll that.
I'm gonna roll
I'm
survey
not-
as well.
I'll roll full focus just because that's the only one I've got a point in of those two.
I have a gilded 5.
Hmm.
4 for me.
I have a non-gilded 5.
Uh,
Nice rolls.
so Emil and Baron, you notice first that the the books he's throwing, they stop with their pages open. And it's the same page. And after a moment, you watch as claws are hooking out of the book.
Oh God.
And
I was
hooking
amused
out
by
of
that
the-
first until the claws part.
And as it is pulling itself out,
That's for each book?
each book,
Oh, Jesus.
Oh lordy.
So,
you realize
oh, go ahead.
there. Yes.
You sure?
How is Baron going to react? Yes.
Just, it's gonna be really, really funny because like everybody thinks that Baron is like an idiot and like unread, but he's gonna be like, he's just gonna sit there and say, "Yo, man, you letting the Jabberwocky out," and just point.
Oh.
Colin will stop with one book in hand and turn around and look. Oh
Oh.
dear.
And
See
there are,
claws.
yes, there are multiple scaled creatures pulling themselves out of these books.
Do they look familiar?
They look
God.
like the artwork of the Jabberwocky.
They do look like the Jabberwocky. Okay, all right. Cool,
Hey,
cool.
that's awesome.
Nice.
Seeing them trying to climb out of books, I think Maylene's going to just go and try to shut books.
Yeah,
Just like,
All right.
this is what we're doing? All right.
think Colin's gonna slam that book in his hands and use it as a blunt object on top of one, like just dropping to his knees on top of it.
And I assume the music box is just going wildly right now.
Flight of the Bumblebee is
Okay.
fast pace.
I'll follow everybody's lead, and like when I see you, Maylene, I think, okay, you probably know how to deal with this. I'm gonna start closing books as well. How many books did you end up throwing down, Colin?
He probably would have skimmed through about like 5 or 6 books.
Oh gosh.
Oh
Okay, all right.
lordy.
Oh boy.
We got more books than
Okay.
people.
Everybody can
Sorry.
roll control to see how many of these books you get closed.
I'm not closing a book. I'm watching.
You're not closing a book.
No.
Got one on control.
Would this be considered high stakes, DM?
Well, there are Jabberwockies swiping and biting at you, so I would consider it high stakes.
All right.
They are trying to get out of their books.
Being that he tried to come straight down, like to slam the book he had in his hands down on one of them, would that be a strike?
Yes.
Okay.
Right,
Two
that'd be
die.
control for me.
I'm going to burn
Five
2
guys.
cunning to get 2 more dice in control.
5 and a 2.
I'm gonna burn a drive to get another die in control as well.
It's a 5, a 6, and a 1.
At least you
I got a 6 and a 1.
So you get most of these books closed, except for the one that you see Colin just slamming down this book onto, and you hear it screeching and clawing, and it is trying to get out of this page. And it is fighting with you. You watch it lift Colin and his book before it presses back down. These things are snapping at you as you're reaching to flip the books closed. And they are trying very hard to get out for whatever reason. It's had an opportunity to live, maybe?
It's only one?
There were 5 or 6 of them, but they rolled 6s, so they got most of the books closed.
Right. So there's only one that's out.
There's only one that's got out.
And Colin,
And you hear it.
it's not holding Colin or anything.
No, it's not that one. Colin's holding that one into its book with his body weight. So
this will be Baron's then. That's fine. As this one jumps up, like gets out, Baron will take a sip of his thing and be like, "Man, I hope you paper though." And I'm gonna light the lighter that I makeshift made and blow fire into it.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Would that be?
Okay.
Colin's eyes are gonna go, huh? Try to roll out the way.
We're gonna call it a control roll and
Okay.
phrase it as
Are we gonna call it a control roll? All right, I'm burning. I'll burn 2 drive though. All right, 2 drive. Let's go.
So,
I got
should
it.
I be rolling to try to get out of the way of the fire?
yes.
Okay.
I got a 5.
But you are sitting on one, sir.
Well, I had asked if this is the one that was near Colin, and you said no.
No, yeah, it was. I'm just on one of them. That's the last book left. Like my body weight's on it. That's why I thought you were blowing fire at me while.
Oh no! See, I had asked.
Yeah.
I thought one got up and he was still holding one down.
No.
I must have.
I'm just
misunderstood.
holding it down.
Emil and Maylene closed 2 books each.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Great.
Colin is
Good news.
sitting on one,
Right.
and Baron has one that didn't get closed.
So
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Okay. Good. I was like, I would never.
I got you.
I wouldn't have sprayed fire at you. I would have just kicked it. I would have kicked it instead. But I was like, if there's one by itself, I was like, this is the one Baron will take care of. He'll say, God, I hope you're made of paper, and spray fire at it. I rolled a 5.
It doesn't sound like it's made of paper when the fire hits it. There's this high-pitched pain screeching. And you hear shelves get hit as it is trying to get away from the fire. And you hear shelves topple.
Oh shit.
And you hear books hitting the floor as it is scrambling away from this fire with its burns and its singed body. And all of you know that books have just hit the ground, but not if they opened.
Time to test that theory, I think. And Maylene's going to run towards the door.
Are you hanging around to see if books open?
No.
I
I
can
kind
roll
of just
for it.
kick to get up and run. Shit.
Just drop my my flask is empty at this point, the silver one that I was using. I'm gonna drop it. You'll hear a cling, 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 and then I'll be like, "This is why I don't read, though," and just kind of like follow you all suit out.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'll dash out too. Just following. I'm gonna say that I'll take up the rear.
Colin's gonna scream out as we all kind of bolt at the same time with the grab hands, grab hands.
I think as you say that, Maylene is reaching down to pick up the music box that got dropped when we were trying to close books.
Oh shoot! Right. Yes. Yeah. Good call.
And we'll just hold out a hand to everybody else like, we're going.
Yeah. Is that a move roll?
You're all going towards the same door.
Okay.
You're going to grab somebody. You may not grab a hand. You may grab an arm. You may grab a shirt.
Just don't pull the coattails. That's how water shoots out of the flower.
Yeah.
As you cross the threshold, again, not into the stairwell, this room is a little odd. And by odd, you hear the meowing. But these creatures have no faces.
Oh.
They all look perfectly healthy. Every single one of them. None of these cats have a face, though.
And you said that we went through the door
Mm-hmm.
We did not go into the stairwell. What room does it look like we're in right now?
It looks like somebody's living room, but they
And
have multiple cats. It's otherwise clean. There's lighting.
and it's just like a a blank, like, furry mass on their face.
Yes.
Oof. Okay.
They're healthy. They're happy. They're happy to see you.
Uh,
Because
and oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
they think you have food and attention.
Um, looking back, do I see the stairwell again, or is it
Yeah.
like another?
There is another door in this room, though.
Okay. Uh, like, wait, hold on. So there's another door. Is it behind us, or is it like in another portion of the room?
It's in another portion of the room. The
Another
one
portion.
behind
Okay.
you is
All
the
right.
stairwell again. The one
Okay,
ahead
it
of
is still the
you
stairwell. Okay.
looks like a front door
Mm.
to
Okay.
someone's house.
Okay. And we're not like from the stairwell. I don't hear the sounds of those things like trying to chase after us.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a relief at least. Um. Oof. I look at the cats and I tell everybody, "Oh my God, is this what they were working in here? Some sort of somebody's idea of a sick joke."
Don't be scared. It's just everyone remain calm.
Maylene
Aaron?
is squatted down and just looking at the cats, but not touching.
That's okay. They are cats. They are touching you.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
They are rubbing against you.
If one of them nuzzles her leg, she will just put out the back of her hand and try and. Realizing they don't have a face, she's putting it almost to where their nose would be, and then just going for the back of the head as like a gentle pat.
Baron, what were you doing?
I think I'd get to like where the door frame is and like hit the side of it, like not in the door frame, but like on our side of the door. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And just kind of put my back against the wall and like kind of slide down and just hold my like I'd ball up a little bit and just kind of like let my hood kind of cover my face and he just start to breathe and like he's just done something that like was intensely scary for him, but in the moment he can push himself through. But this is like a moment where like he's trying to figure out how he's gonna like put all of this in a box in his head and put it somewhere away so he doesn't have to deal with it. And this is like his version of like working through that moment because he like I feel like he knows he's gonna have to go through another one here in a second. And he's just like, I can't do this continually. So he's not having like a panic attack, but like it's definitely like that borderline right there before one. But he's like going through the same things that like it's like a trauma response of like I'm just gonna sit down, I'm just gonna put my head down. I'm not gonna look at these dumb cats. They're gonna touch me, but I'm not here. And he's just gonna start humming to himself a little bit and just let his head rest on his knees.
Do we notice anything else in this room? Any other people? Is it just us besides the cats?
It's just you.
Emil, I'm gonna tap you on your shoulder and point at the door.
I'm I'm gonna give you a nod, and I'm gonna start walking to the door. At this point, again, pretenses are kind of out the window. My hands, my hands at at my hunting knife, and I'm actually going to draw it and just have it in front of me, laid down as I make my way to the door.
Gotcha.
Baron, do you want to roll a d20 or do you want me to roll one?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, I'm happy to roll d20s. Let's go. You know me. You know me. Am I aiming for something? What am I aiming for? No, I got you. Don't worry about it. Yeah, that's a nat 1.
Wow.
I swear to God.
The one d20 roll that we're probably gonna do this.
I'll take a picture of it if you want to. That's fucking wild.
That's amazing.
I thought
I
it was
love it.
Amazing.
I was super excited. It was about to be a 13, and then I was like, nah, it's a 1.
Mark 2 brains for me.
Sure, why not?
So as you're going towards this door, Baron, you do hear this rattling, and you assume it's a purr. It's a very loud purr. Are you going to look at it?
Yeah.
Also roll focus.
Sure. I already used my drive for my intuition, so here's my solo focus dice. It's a 3.
It is a fluffy orange cat.
Mhm.
It is the only cat in this room that has a face. It is, the odd thing about it is that it does have orange wings.
Mm-hmm.
So what is everyone else doing? Emil and Colin were moving towards the door.
Mhm.
Maylene is
Maylene,
petting the cat still.
she would have pet the cats that came up to her, but shortly after stood up and started looking, seeing the front door that they're headed towards. There's a moment where she wants to follow, but then she gets lost in looking around the room for anything else out of the ordinary. I think she'll be looking for anything out of the ordinary, but also to see if there's food bowls
There are
or
food
water
bowls,
or anything.
but they're empty.
Makes sense. They don't have faces. But she'll be seeing if there's any signs of movement other than the cats in this area, or if it's just been the cats.
This is an awfully clean room for a room with 15 cats. 15 cats that are theoretically blind, but they have no problem knowing where all of you are, where all of the furniture is, where every ledge to jump on is, without eyes or a nose.
There's a cat in front of Baron right now, right?
Yes.
It's got a face.
Yes.
And I'm sitting. The way I described it was the doorway's right next to me, and I'm right up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Baron's gonna start talking in a really low voice, a very monotone, very careful voice. And I'm gonna put my hand out to the cat, and I'm just gonna be saying, my friend was blind, and we gave him a cheese grater for Christmas, and he said it was the worst story he ever read. As I put my hand out to him. And if the cat lets me touch it, I want to do something, but I want to know if the cat's going to let me touch it and if I'm going to get effed up before I touch this cat.
It lets you touch it.
So I'm going to scratch it, and I'm going to try really hard. And he's going to say, and with all due respect, I just need to see something. And I'm going to take it, I'm going to grab it, and slam it through the door.
The cat goes out into the
Oh, I got to roll for this? Great.
out
Go.
the doorway. Are you looking out the doorway?
Nope. I just want to see if it comes back through this doorway after I push it out this door, or what. And I'm keeping my eye on all these other cats now to see what happens.
So, after a few heartbeats of this moment where you've slung a cat out a door into a stairwell, that you've passed through this doorway multiple times and it's been different rooms.
Mm-hmm.
This orange tabby trots back in very irritably.
Oh.
I would just say, "Oh, you're irritated, huh?"
As it no longer wants to be your friend.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
And this is when the cat walks up to Colin.
So does it come up behind him or?
It comes up beside you, yes.
Yeah. Ah. I remember seeing you a moment. You look like a friend of mine. I think Colin in this moment is going to try to he's going to try and not channel. I guess he would try to get a sense of what was done to this creature, like the energy, if it's being, if the cat is a source, or if it's just giving off its own thing, like.
That is a sense roll.
Okay. So that's 2, and I have that gilded, so I'm gonna add a third die. That's a gilded die. Oh! 2 5s and a 6. But I'm going to take the 5 because that's the gilded, so I can get a drive back.
You get the sense that this cat is magical on its own right.
Okay.
It's something you would expect to have seen kept floors up where they had all the other creatures contained.
Okay.
But as you're looking at this cat, you do kind of get the sense of if it didn't have the wings, it would be Niklaus. That is how similar this cat looked. And we can say all orange cats look the same, but they don't.
Yeah.
I've had an orange cat. Everyone's seen orange cats. We have Garfields. We have my orange cat Skinny. So
he's gonna go ahead and scoop the cat up and sit it on his shoulder and go, "You're not as angry as my friend, though."
Maybe not angry at you. It is, however, angry at Aaron.
Yeah. And he's going to, with this cat on his shoulder now, try to go with Emil to inspect the other door, well, maybe
And
beyond
Emil,
it.
you said you were knocking on the wall.
No. I'm not. I'm just approaching the door like cautiously with with my with my hunting knife in hand. And I'm not gonna knock on the door. I'm just gonna open it.
When you open this door, it looks purples and blues and blacks swirling with little pinpricks that you might have heard in stories could be stars in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And in this room, you see, well, not room, but just outside the door, you see on the wall, and it says 7th level. This is a metal wall. But where this landing ends, there are chunks of floating pieces of this level, of the 7th level.
Where the landing? Oh, I see. So it's like just a nothingness then.
Mm-hmm.
But you've skipped a floor
mhm.
in this.
Yeah. I stop myself from like pushing forward, like I kind of catch myself on the door frame, and I turn back to Colin and I say, "I don't think there's much place for us to go here."
Can we still hear the singing?
The singing is louder.
Like in the sort of void that I'm looking out into?
Yes. There are like chunks of the floor floating around.
Yeah.
As if
So we can like hop from
fragmented.
like one thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we can push forward. Okay.
You have to be careful to navigate this.
Do we have any rope?
Gonna look back at the two of you. Does anyone have rope on them?
Can Baron hear them ask that?
I would assume.
I'm not pretending like I'm trying to be quiet or anything at this point. I'm just, yeah, from like across the room. And I will slide my bag and riffle through it. And he has cord that he has now, he took out of the walls. And like, it's like rolled up, like very heavy, like cord from inside the wall of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good like 30 or 40 feet worth of this stuff that he had slowly pulled out of this thing.
She's gonna look at you. Stood busy on the ship, did you?
I mean, it's all useful at the end of the day. I got some copper too, but that's for later. And he like it sells well. It sells well.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab the when you pull that out, I take the cord. I'm not gonna tie it to like around my waist or anything like that, since we only have 30 feet of it. But I'm going to at least like maybe loop it through a belt loop or something.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna pass the other end to actually I'm gonna kind of give Colin and Baron the choice. Okay, who wants to kind of tie off next?
Yeah, I'll start tying off around my waist.
Okay, all right.
If it's okay with everybody else, I don't need to be tied up to anything, but I will be an anchor.
Are you
Okay,
holding up?
that
All right.
works.
Huh?
Are you holding up? Okay. Are you all right?
Yeah, I don't want to be confined more than we are.
I understand a need for freedom of movement.
But I mean, like I said, I'll be an anchor. I got it.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna turn to you and I'm gonna say, all right, if you feel a sharp tug on that, start pulling us back in. And then I amend that with, or if any of us scream.
Yeah, 100.
Colin looks at you, Emil, and he goes, "We have the ability to scream." Not trying to jinx us, but just like
yeah. I guess that's presuming kind of a lot, right? Okay. All right. Once everybody who Maylene, are you tying yourself off? Also, or do you want to kind of
I
keep? Are you going to stay back?
I think she's going to stay back for the moment and not tie off, but she is going to give the music box one more listen. And this thing going Flight of the Bumblebees, she's going to close it and tuck it away.
It's not doing Flight of the Bumblebee. It is moving so fast. It is just a
Mm.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. Sounds about right. All right. Once everybody's secure, I'm going to start stepping on those shards of floor or the broken pieces of floor and make my way forward.
everyone that steps off of this landing, which I'm assuming is Emil and Colin, mark a bleed.
Oh,
So you'll see Colin's vest just kind of flash for a second, and that ward will soak one bleed. Yeah. Oh.
That was useful.
let's see. So also, because I am the muscle and I have the adrenaline rush move, for each mark I take, I may immediately refresh a drive of my choice. So I'm going to take that bleed and then refresh. I'm going to refresh nerve, 1 point of nerve.
So Colin looks down at himself and goes, looks back at you, Emil. He goes, I'm going to need a new vest.
And actually, as sort of like as the adrenaline starts to surge and my senses kind of heighten, I like get into full on like emergency, quote unquote emergency mode. I start feeling like maybe maybe I'm a little more in my element, and so that comforts me a little bit.
So there's a moment in this floor, hallway, different world, possibly, where everything pulls back together and fits into the hallway. But there are no doors down this hallway until you reach the very end.
Okay.
And all you can hear is angry screaming when everything rips back apart into the spaced chunks it was in.
From where I'm standing, does the cord stay taut or does it just drop when they enter that side?
It stays taut. Or it stays connected.
Right.
Is the cat still on my shoulder?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I have to roll for that.
Gotcha.
I roll for all animals.
Oh, the only way through is forward.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep on pushing forward then. Besides that, like, do I notice anything else? Like, do I notice any other movement besides us?
The space, the emptiness, seems to be moving. And it looks like smoke. And you know what smoke and a dark cloud looks like as it's moving. That's what the world is. But this one just looks like it might just be smoke from a candle.
Do they have enough rope?
They will probably not have enough rope to make it to the end. So
when I feel the rope.
Would you
Sorry,
feel
go
the
ahead.
rope? I was going to ask, were you leaping to the next one?
Yeah. Yep. Gonna do it. Just gonna push forward. Yeah.
let's roll move, and we're going
Okay.
to count these next couple jumps as medium stakes.
Okay.
Okay.
I have 2 on move. I feel pretty confident in that. Oh, double 6s.
Fantastic.
Okay, the dice aren't failing me when I need them.
There you go.
When you leap and you land on this broken chunk of what should be secured back, it wobbles and then glides itself to reconnect with the previous path behind it.
Okay. All right.
And it seems to seal and fix itself.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I feel pretty good about that then. How much more rope do I have? I mean, I'll look back at Darren holding the other end. Like, how much slack do we have?
It depends on where he is in the doorway.
I mean, I'm right on where I said. I'm on this side of the doorway, just holding the rope.
You've probably used 15 feet of the rope to get out this
Okay.
far.
All right. So there's still enough to get to the other ones. Okay, then I'll keep on hopping. Is that more moves rolls?
Well, because you rolled the critical, you do notice another piece kind of floated closer. So all you really have to do is step across and stretch a little.
Sure. Okay. All right. I feel good about that.
And with your weight on it, it seems to seal into place as if it was never broken.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of just keep making my way across. As safely as I can. I mean, if I have to jump, I'll jump. If I can do that again and kind of like reach another piece, I'll reach another piece. Until I feel like the rope is at its limit.
I'll say Colin will, taking note of all this is like, good. We're reforming the walkway.
As you reach the edge of this to make your next leap, you do understand that even if this piece were to reconnect, you will run out of rope on the other end of it.
Okay, all right. So like so I can go one more piece with the rope, but then I'm going to run out of rope after that.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that last piece. And then I'll look back at Colin and Maylene and then Baron all the way back. And I'm going to raise my hands like, don't do this, not yet. If something happens to me, I at least want the 2 of you to be pullable, but I'm going to untie the rope from my belt loop. And then I'm going to press forward without it.
Okay. Let's roll jump to make the next jump.
All right.
Or roll move.
Oops, all right, here we go. Don't fail me now. 1-5.
Okay. You needed a 4.
Okay, thank God. All right. Okay.
So you make this jump and you feel the piece and it wobbles. But this one's a little rougher than the first one you jumped on. And it doesn't glide. It slams back into the walkway.
Oh, Okay, but it still seals itself up, right?
Yes.
Okay, so kind of going as far as I have. How many more chunks are there?
There are 6 more chunks.
6 more chunks. I'm gonna try to jump across them in quick succession, like I'm skipping stone, like I'm doing, like I'm skipping over paving stones in the water.
Okay. This one's going to be a higher stakes roll then.
Higher stakes moves roll. Okay, I'm actually all right. Then I am going to burn a drive on that. Give myself 3 dice.
Don't forget, we still got that stamina.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I don't want to burn through those, like, quickly, you know what I mean? Especially because they're
Yeah.
gilded dice. Okay. I got 1 6 out of all that, and then 2 1s. So,
Ooh,
all right, there was a 6 at least.
okay. So you're running and leaping, and you're not stopping for when these shudder or when they glide back, and you make it first one, second one, third one, and you start to realize they're moving as you're trying to run. So you're having to leap harder by the time you've made
Okay.
it to this fourth one.
Okay.
And you're in the air and you're not sure that you've pushed off of the third one enough as one foot lands on the edge of this fourth one. And you're in this moment of, am I gonna fall? But it wobbles and it starts pulling back towards the others. And it moves underneath you in such a force that you tumble forward onto this fourth ledge.
Okay. All right. At that point, I'm gonna kind of wave everybody to where I am, since it looks like there's at least that, chunks of floor that are secure.
Baron, are you
Uh,
going into the hallway?
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. I'm gonna look at you like, I'm gonna wave you towards us.
Yeah, I mean, if the
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, if it's reconnected, it's the path is there now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll shrug, drop the rope, so everybody can see me drop the rope. And yeah, I'll walk in and I'll just put my hands back in and just kind of press forward.
Now it is just a path. There are no walls. So
Do I take a bleed?
yes, when you entered the room, you take a bleed. Or the hallway, you take a bleed.
Maylene will come up beside Baron and say, I still owe you one for catching me when the ship nearly capsized. If you fall, I'll do my best to pull you back in.
Yeah, same.
And she'll just kind of chuckle back to that.
He's like, is so out of his element at this point. He's just like, man.
Colin and Emil, do you want to roll a survey?
Survey?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually not bad on survey. I've got a gilded die on that.
I will burn 2 drive, so that way I can have 3 dice.
Yeah, I'll burn 1 drive on that. Get myself an extra die. My highest was a 4, but it is my gilded die.
So I have 6, a 3, and a 4.
So, Emil, you notice that in the reconnection of this hallway, it seems to have pulled everything closer. Like, you still have to jump,
Okay.
but it's not as stretched out as it was when it was in all the pieces. Colin, you notice
Okay.
there's a person standing on a bigger platform beyond the last 2 chunks.
And so with that, I'll kind of like standing side by side with you, Bill. Kind of like he kind of just puts his hand in front of you and then points forward.
Okay.
The child. In any of that paperwork, you didn't catch a name, did you?
I wordlessly shake my head no. But what does the figure look like then? I mean, are they, what's their posture like? Are they doing anything?
Um, she seems like she's curious, watching you. And
Okay.
you see her, and she tosses something forward, and she proceeds to hopscotch. And you realize you've been playing hopscotch down the hallway.
Nice.
That's cool. Wait, is she hopscotching towards us?
Just on her platform that
Oh, just our platform.
you assume when the walls were connected, it was part of a cell.
Okay.
The orange cat leaves Colin's shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to hopscotch. It glides across to her. And you see for a moment that as it gets closer, there's kind of this ripple of magic that ripples off of it,
Mm-hmm.
as if it's having to burn away to get closer.
Colin's going to try to go forward and meet up with her.
There are still 2 ledges you have to jump to, so
Okay.
do you want to roll
Oh.
moves this time?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna go, Colin? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? For the nerve, because I only got 1 in move, so let me burn 2 drive here. Better my chances. That way I can use 3 dice. Okay. A 6, a 5, and a 3.
So you see Colin, and he takes off towards this ledge, and he leaps. And everything does feel like it's closer than it had been originally. And he lands a couple feet into the ledge, and it starts pulling back. And it is still pulling the last ledge and her room with it
Mm-hmm.
as it reconnects to the others. Are you going to the last one?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll again.
All right. Single die on this one. Whew. That is a 1, but I'm going to burn a resistance to reroll. A 3.
Ooh.
That does not go well.
So as you go to run and make this jump,
Mm-hmm.
you realize that in your arc, you're starting to descend too quickly. And you hear the meow of the cat from the ledge.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give you the opportunity to roll a strike to grab the edge of this section.
Okay.
Is there anything I can do to try to help Colin out? Like,
How
am
would
I?
you help him?
You said I'm noticing my descent's too fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think in that moment while I'm falling and trying to reach for the probably be screaming out rope, 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 rope.
Yeah, because you're still tied to it, right?
Yep.
Even though it's been dropped?
So
Yeah, I mean,
you see it going quick.
I'll at least try to grab the rope and if I can't like go over and actually grab your body, I'll grab the rope and see if I can yank you back from there.
So I rolled a 4 and a 3.
Okay.
We're on a walkway, and then there's a jump to where they're at, to where he's trying to go
Yeah.
to, right?
Yes.
So he's like trying to do this thing. He's trying to like
Get to the last ledge.
Mhm.
So I'm not connected to the rope. Emil would go to grab the rope, and Maylene is connected to the rope still, I believe. You all are still tied together.
So I never connected to the rope. I stayed back with you when
Oh,
we first
I thought
when they first went out.
Oh, I thought you tied together. Well, I think that I would like. I would put my bag down. I would disconnect my bag. So my bag is now not with me, which is the first time I've ever let my bag not be with me, by the way, so far.
Mhm.
But I would take off sprinting and try and jump to that last ledge, so that when he did grab it, I would try and help him up.
So who's grabbing the rope and who's jumping to the ledge?
I'll grab the rope.
I'm sprinting as hard as I can to jump to this ledge.
And I think Maylene is chasing after the end of the rope as it gets faster and faster ahead of her.
Okay. So I'm going to need a move from Maylene and Baron
No problem.
and a control from Emil.
Okay.
And Colin is hanging on to the side of this ledge, trying to find something to climb up and not fall.
So I'm gilded and have 2 dice to this.
Okay.
I got 2 5s,
Okay.
Oh god.
I got a 6.
Okay.
so I'll take my.
And I got a. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say yeah. So my gilded gives me a drive back.
And I got a 2 on trying to grab the rope.
Oh.
Nope on the rope.
That was absolutely a nope rope. So Emil's fingers just graze this rope as it slides out of his hand. As it's sliding across this floor. And Maylene is running, and you hear her. I'm pretty sure she's wearing high heels. She seems like that kind of woman. And running in heels, which is a feat on its own. And she's reaching for this rope, and she manages to grab it, which in this case does give Emil the opportunity to help secure in case. But as she's running, you see Baron runs and he leaps, and the most he's been your scout. He's been watching the door. He's been holding the light, and he's had your back and he's scouted. And right now he is taking the leap in front. And he makes it to this ledge. And the ledge shudders, which is terrifying if you're hanging off the side of it because your grip slips. And Baron reaches and he grabs your arm. And you feel that they've got you from the rope behind you. But now you have another problem of you need to get off the side because this piece is moving back towards them.
Okay.
So I would suggest Baron rolling strike. And we're going to use this as him pulling you up onto the ledge.
Okay.
Okay. So a strike, and I will burn 2 drives, 1 that I just got back, 1. So I have 1 left after this, which which is good because it's 2 1s and a 6.
That was very good. As you pull Colin up on this ledge, it gently seals back and locks into place with this hallway. And you feel a shudder as the large piece locks into place, and then every wall snaps in.
Colin's just gonna go, oh, you don't ever have to pay for books. They're on me.
He's gonna I'll pat you on the back and be like, I ain't never reading again after what happened upstairs, man.
Oh my god.
I promise you they're not like that.
All right, well, we'll see when we get back. And he's gonna say again, like as somber as possible, when we get back. And then he's gonna turn, and right before he looks, just because I know there's this little girl behind me, or little person behind me, he's gonna close his eyes, and real carefully make sure that they can't hear him, but I know Colin can hear me. He's just gonna be like, man, we gotta some child needs timeout. That's all he's gonna say.
Oh god.
So this is a fully formed 7th level of the Devil's Well. There is a closed door. It does have a key card lock on it.
What, behind
You
me?
know that. Yes, behind you. All the walls snap back into place. In your moment of panic. You do know that the cat is now shut in there with the little girl that was playing hopscotch.
Okay. Colin's going to get to his feet as quickly as possible and look back at Ameline. Then look back at you, and like, is that your backpack?
Yes, it's over by the door.
Okay. Do you need it?
I just need whoever leaves here first to just take it with them.
He just kind of grabs you by the shoulder, thank you. As he kind of starts walking towards the door.
And I'll follow close behind.
Yeah. If Maylene is far enough back where the backpack's not far from her, she'll grab it. But if I've gone way past it, sprinting after that rope, then I'm just gonna keep up with the group.
Yeah, it's back there. It's waiting by the door.
Yeah.
When you come back.
Pull that rope off of me.
That rope almost saved your life.
Yeah. By the way, I can totally picture her like T1000 in high heels.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The way I picture it, she got halfway through the sprint and just kicked the heels off to get a little bit more speed and stability.
That's a feat too, though. Kicking heels in the middle of the run. God.
Yeah.
I think I have the key card to this door.
Yeah, you did take that.
Because I took it off of her.
I still have one, though. Because you used the second floor, you had the quarter room.
I have the key card that's marked whatever that lady's name is.
Oh, there you go.
Amelia Kowalska.
Yep.
There you go. Kowalski. And so if I have it, I mean, I would turn and look at everybody and be like, I mean, we at least gonna see what we came down here for, right?
Yeah, let's go. Let's finish this.
And I'll knock the key card to the door, or the lock, I mean.
The key card blinks. The door takes a moment and you hear the locking mechanism unlocking. And then it slides open. And inside it didn't look like it before, but it does look like a bedroom. There's a bed, there's a toy box. The parts of the walls have wallpaper on them. Parts of the walls have had wallpaper ripped off of them.
Hmm.
Who all is going in this room? Everyone?
I'll step in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll walk in. Yeah.
Yeah, the second the door opens, I'll go in first since I'm the one knocking the key card.
There's this little girl, and she looks terrified. Which is an odd look because you've seen people that look like her. She's got this lavender skin. She has curled horns. And she's staring at you with these golden eyes. And for a moment, she's afraid. And then you watch as her face ripples. And it seems like there's this overlay of an aura of a different creature as anger comes out. And it fades away. And a different one comes on, and it's a different color. And she looks sad, and she looks strained as she's trying to contain these creatures back into her body.
Hmm.
And you hear her, no, no one's supposed to be here.
It's okay. It's okay. Breathe.
And she's backing away.
I'll you know what? I think wait, did I sheath my I think I did sheath my hunting knife. I'm gonna like put my hands up and I'm just gonna say in like the most what's the word? Calm voice I can. I'm just gonna say it's all right. It's all right. Everything's okay. Nobody's gonna hurt you.
And I think Maylene is going to push up next to him and just squat down to her eye level and pull out the drawings that I picked up earlier and just say, I found these while we were going through here. Are they yours?
No one's supposed to be here. They don't like it when anyone's in the room. You shouldn't be here. And there's a moment where it looks like scales form down her face before it ripples away.
There's no one else here, child. It's just us.
She looks around. They're here. They're here.
What's your name?
They're there. Name?
Yes. What's your name?
She looks like she's struggling to find the words. And in the moment, her body completely covers in these golden scales.
Mhm.
And it kind of changes for a moment. One of her arms still has the scales, but they're white. And she's, hosts don't get names. This guttural, angry voice comes out of her. And it's cut off by screaming as the scales recede. And the girl is screaming, just make it stop!
Okay. Colin's going to be looking around for the cat in the room.
It's sitting on the dresser.
Is the dresser near us or?
No, it's on the other side of the room. It would be closer to the door where you come in.
Okay. I think he would quickly recognize and try to like go for the cat to like present it to her. Like, see, it's all right. It's okay.
Seeing you moving in that direction, Maylene is just going to try to talk to her and keep her attention on you, on her, so that if you decide to do that quietly, it's a little bit easier.
Hmm.
And she'll just... I think Maylene's going to take on a harsh tone, not towards her, but towards whatever just called her a host. And just be like, when did this start? Who did this?
You see her, and as she's trying to claw the scales off as they ripple, and she's having a hard time holding everything together. And she starts whispering, please get me away from them. Don't let them bring it through.
Bring it through.
Bring
what through?
She gestures at herself because she knows she can't stop it. She's long since been able to stop and hold this back.
How close are we?
How close are you?
If like again, just hands outstretched, I'm going to say, I'm going to approach actually, and I'm going to crouch down so that I'm closer to her eye level. I don't. I mean, is is she tall enough that I can do that and still kind of move comfortably, or do I have to kind of get on my hands and knees and crawl?
You could probably crouch. She's not
Okay.
standing.
Yeah.
You would have to get really low to be on eye level
Okay.
with her, so you could probably crouch up to her. But how
Yeah.
close are
I'll
you
I'll do
getting?
that. I'm going to get within like a couple of feet. Again, like arms outstretched, just saying it's all right. We're not gonna let anything bad happen to you. What are
As
they
you
trying to
get
bring through? What is this?
as you get closer, you feel this jolt of electricity pulse up your arm,
Ooh.
and you need to mark a bleed scar.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, is there like a particular nature to this scar, or do you want me to do the detail?
You can decide what you want it to look like.
Okay.
It'll be magical in nature. It feels like electricity voltage just run up your arm.
Okay. I've never felt anything like that, so I'm gonna say the this sort of magical electricity forces up my arms. Um, and there's this bright flash of light that kind of sends me back and flat on my back. And when I come to again, like when the light subsides, when my eyes aren't so filled with that light anymore, um, there are long sort of gashes of burnt flesh kind of going down my arms,
Mm.
like big scars, and they're hot and they're kind of steaming. Um, the flesh hasn't really like bubbled or anything like that, but like once it heals, it's raw, it's red, it's burnt in places, and once it heals, like there are going to be those almost like like if you can imagine sort of like stalactites kind of almost like if my wrist and my hand and my wrist were like the ceiling of a cave, like stalactites are kind of going down, like long scars running down my arms. But right now they're just raw and burning.
And you still see electricity
Hmm.
bouncing through these gashes on his arms as he's been knocked back. And if you've looked away from her and you look back at her, there are blue scales running down the side of her face.
Hmm.
If Maylene had her music box out to read the bleed in this room, it would probably sound like in a previous room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she still undergoing a transformation into this other being, or is the other being now present?
It is a constant transformation and battle of who is in control.
Okay.
I will. I'll pull out the notes that I had from earlier, the reliquary book, keeping the spine facing down so she doesn't see the name on it, and see if there's anything about making her a host or anything that would say what they did to cause this in there.
Roll a focus
Okay.
to see if you can find it quickly in this situation.
I'm going to burn one of my drives for this.
So, while she's rolling from the doorway, because I'm still door. Colin is like trying to get this cat to her. Emil just took a shock. And Maylene is going through paperwork. Is this correct so far?
Yes.
Okay. Baron does not know what to do. Like, there is no version of this world that he knows, but he knows how to talk to kids in that way that like lets them feel comfortable. Because when you go over someone's parents' house and you gotta tell them something, the kid's normally sitting on the couch, and he's just pulling from anywhere, anything, and he goes, and I think it would like squeak out of his mouth, like he wouldn't even realize he's saying it. It would just pop out, and he'd be like, Yo, what kind of games you like to play though?
She kind of pauses, and there's a moment where the far wall kind of melts,
Fuck.
and she points towards a box of games, and she has a Connect 4 game.
Yeah, I like that game. You want to play?
No. I I'm hungry.
Yeah, word, me too. But I mean, I can't do nothing about that, but I could play a game with you if you want.
Can we play a game where there's food?
Baron just kind of looks around. And he's like,
No.
he looks, actually, no. For real, Baron looks straight at Colin.
Mm.
And he has this face on like, I need an adult. Like, this is the most like he looks like, this is it. He's like, you are now the designated adult. Like, this is like...
So,
It's
with
a
all this
5,
happening
by the
so
way.
quickly,
I'm so sorry.
oh man, that's all happening way fast.
So you find a page that talks about the reliquary was not meant to be a host, she was meant to be a doorway.
Oh God.
Hmm. Okay.
But what they were looking to bring to the world is not listed. They brought something back, and Kowalska is not happy about the something they brought in.
Mm.
Okay.
Colin, do you have the cat yet?
I
Or
do.
are you checking on a meal?
I kind of like holding the cat, seeing that meal flew back, and then like looked back at you, and you gave me that look like, God help me. Yeah, he's gonna look at you, and go check on him. You know, like giving you like an instruction, like check on a meal, and then I'm gonna run forward with the cat, and get down on one knee and pull my arcane text out and slap it on the floor and try to rummage through it. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna kind of glance at you, Melina, and be like, keep her distracted for a moment.
When you say that, I'll look at you and say, they were trying to make her a doorway. They made her a host by mistake.
Thank you. Like, I'm looking for any possible knowledge I might have on gateways, doorways, and hosts. That might be in my text.
Okay.
I think in Maylene's
Mm-hmm.
coat, she probably keeps snacks for kids that she's doing shows for. And she'll just try to pull out almost like a granola bar. And offer it to her. I heard you say you were hungry. You can have this if you want.
The reliquary is going to reach out, and as she grabs this granola-esque bar from you, you feel this overwhelming sensation of cold. run up from her through your hand, up your arm, and you're going to take a bleed scar.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason they did not get very close to her in their testing.
Mm-hmm.
But she's going to eat this granola bar like it is the most important thing of her life, even though she makes that face that children make that it does not taste good, but she is hungry enough to eat it.
I think the way the scar will manifest is Maylene's pinky and ring finger will almost look immediately frostbitten. And like the frostbite has aged rapidly to where it's just blackened skin. Dead and decaying.
DM,
Mhm.
while inspecting my my arcane text, looking
Yes.
for after she had mentioned gateway and host, should I be rolling for that?
Yes, I am going to count that as a sense roll.
Central. Okay. So I have 2, and I also have a gilded, so I'm going to roll all 3. All right. Ugh. That was a failure. 1 and 2 twos.
Oh,
But I will take the failure from the gilded so that I can get a drive back.
completely understand. You don't have anything in your book, but you know you've heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know somewhere there is a book, but it's not this one. It's not in your notes. It's not something you've done extensive enough
Mm-hmm.
research into. Um, she's eating this, and she looks at you and she says, "Does Nickel want to leave?"
And he picks his head up. What'd you say?
She points at the cat. Nickel talked about the sky. Said it was blue. I don't have a crayon to color.
You're kind of stunned for the moment, and then he looks down at the cat in his arm. Is this the same cat?
What do you mean?
Well, after her calling him Nickel, he's down like in confusion. Like, I know my cat. But the chances of the name being so similar is just, it kind of threw him off.
Mhm, mhm.
You can't be.
Cat just looks at you.
Yeah, you would. Of course you would.
But she's described the color of the sky to you.
Okay. You can talk to Nickel?
He does most of the talking.
What's he sell you?
About the sky, about flying, about tarts. I want a tart.
Huh.
Can we go where there's a tart? I would really like to leave here.
I tell
Is
you
Dr.
what,
Kowalska coming back?
I don't think she is. But we might be able to get you some tarts. And I'm going to look back to see how Byron's doing with Emil.
I mean, if Emil would let me help him up, I would help him up. Otherwise, I'm just
Yeah.
putting my hand out either way. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I'll ask you to kind of like maybe scoop me up,
yeah.
by the chest or something like that, like around the chest or like around the shoulders or something, and then like I'll stagger up. kind of keeping my hands away from touching anything right now,
Right.
or my arms and hands. Yeah.
I have a question. What's the
Mhm.
little girl wearing? Like, is it look like a like regular clothes, or is it like, oh, I'm in a smock, like, because when you do experiments on things, you put like
Oh, you mean like
the lead bib or
the
whatever. Yeah,
gowns,
yeah, you know what I mean. Like what?
the medical gowns?
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
She looks like somebody wanted her to imagine she had a childhood. She has on pink little pajamas. The room did have wallpaper on some of the walls.
Yeah.
She does have a bed with a blanket. She has normal child things. They were trying to appease her, or somebody was.
I'm gonna. So another really interesting question. When Candela does things, they bring containment chambers with them places.
Normally.
Did we have one on the boat?
Mm.
You never asked Captain DeVere if he had one on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know.
Okay.
Emil, are you okay?
Do what?
No, I'm saying, is Emil okay, or?
Oh.
Yeah,
Is
I'm
Emil
up.
okay?
I'm up.
Oh, okay,
I'm
okay.
like, yeah, no, I'm up. I'm just, um, uh, I'm again kind of keeping my distance, watching everything play out.
Sorry, I was
My
just
hands, I cannot do anything with like my arms right now. They're kind of out of commission for a little bit.
gotcha.
If
Yeah, no, sorry.
depending on how the group reacts to it, I think. But this is something. This would be the first time you see. Baron's gonna take his like jacket off,
Mhm.
and his hoodie is this like mustard yellow hoodie that has like the arms cut off of it, and if you'd see his arms for the first time, and they look like just scars, like all of his arm, like from he looks like the main character from Outlaw Star, if you know what I'm talking about. Like it's just
Oh, wow.
like
Yeah.
it's just deep. It's like deep cut scars all through his arms, and it's kind of like one of
Nice
the
reference.
thanks. It's like one of the things like it's one of the reasons, and you would see them. They'd lead up to where where it goes, and you'd have a sense that like his whole body looks like this, and that's why he keeps himself so covered. And he would take his jacket off and be like, "All right, but if we gonna go get you food, you gotta wear something so you warm. So you mind? Come on, you put my jacket on. We'll go get you a tart."
Is everyone else in cohesion to go get a tart with the little girl, because she's getting up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll nod my head. I'll nod my head and say, you don't need to be stuck in here anymore. Whatever you went through, whatever's been going on here, um, there are better things for you in the world out there.
The organization may be able to help her.
Exactly my thoughts.
I'm gonna put
And
my jacket on her and try and zip it up, and I'll take whatever damage I have to do that.
It's going to feel very hot. And not hot in the way of you're sitting beside a fire, but in the way that you're sitting in it as you take this bleed scar. And she's kind of holding up this jacket because she is a 9-year-old little girl,
Mm-hmm.
even though the last file paperwork is dated from 10 years ago. Actually, the file that says she's 9, that's my bad. The file that says she's 9 is from 20 years ago.
Good.
If the jacket fits around her and is like a big canopy on her, basically, and it's hot. I have a thing called saw this coming, which is supposed to be like me knowing like what to do and blah blah blah, and like in like really stressful situations. And normally it lets me add a D, it lets me add a D dice to something. But if you would, I would like I've watched each of them get hurt or something happen, and I think that I would understand that it's gonna hurt. But with
Okay.
it, I want to try and like help her up and see if I can't like even if I have to do like even if whatever with my right hand take her hand and like walk towards the door with her. But I would like everybody to go. I would like to try and like motion like everybody else should go first through the door, depending on what happens. But I'm willing to give my arm up for it.
And so, Baron, since you've approached, like I'm kind of just standing on my own now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll nod and start making my way to the door. Keep it like walking sort of sideways, keeping an eye back on on her, and yeah, kind of just saying it's okay, it's okay. There's you'll be okay out there.
She kind of smiles the best she can for someone who's been in this room for her entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And you all feel a rumbling underneath your feet.
Okay.
And as you look down, you realize you're standing in 2 inches of water.
Everyone grab me. Grab on.
Yeah, reach out and
Yeah. Maylene will tuck her frostbitten hand under one arm and grab Colin with the other.
When that all happened, did the little girl take my hand?
Mm-hmm.
How badly is my arm messed up?
That's up to you.
Okay.
It feels like your arm caught fire.
Right. I'm gonna like sustain the moment for a second, and I'm gonna try and like when he says everybody grab onto me, I'm just gonna kind of like look at her. I'm gonna watch them all grab onto each other, and I'm gonna look at her, and I don't really know what's going on at this point, but I also know that like there's nothing else that I can do, and I'm just gonna say, yeah, no, we should go though. Do you want to tell me more about the sky? I've never heard about the sky, so.
She starts rattling to you about Nickel, the cat that she's gesturing at, telling her about the color of the sky and how soft the clouds are.
I'm assuming you're also grabbed onto me, right, Baron? With your free hand?
I think I would start to like reach, but it really depends on what's gonna happen.
So Colin goes into his bag and pulls out that rib he grabbed earlier off the dead body, and puts it, and you see him, and he jams it right into his chest, and he goes, "Just hold on tight." And in this moment, he's going to do a forbidden ritual, and using the rib as an anchor point, He's going to change the environment and pull all of us forward to the room where the body was, which is past that first door where the crabs were.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to give him a bleed scar.
Ooh.
Mm.
And so you watch as he does this thing, and the object itself lights up, and his eyes light up, and everything just shifts around you, and all of a sudden you're back in that room. If you were holding on to him,
Yeah.
boom, right there in front of the body.
What?
And once we arrive, he'll just drop to his knees and cough up blood.
I
You
think
all get
that's
to the top. Sorry. You all get to the top, and the moment the reliquary forms here, all of this very thick glass starts to crack. But now you can go on. I'm sorry.
no. I'm gonna say that that was like, again, kind of considering my injured state, that was like a lot for me, and I'm gonna drop down on my knees. I'm gonna be coughing, like, sort of that magical event. Just it stuns me for a little bit.
Keeping a hand on Colin and just kind of like patting on his back, like, get the coughs out, get the coughs out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn my head over towards the reliquary and just say, we're gonna help you figure out your name. For now, you should know my name is Deborah, and these are my friends. We're gonna take you on a boat, and we're gonna get out of here. But we have to move quick, okay?
You see a moment where she's staring at the frosted thick glass. You know this glass to be multiple inches thick, as a crack is breaking down through it.
Mm.
And she remembers talking about the tart. Oh, tarts. She looks down at the ground and then looks towards the cat. I know, we should run.
Long as we're on the same page. And
Colin lets the cat go. Let him lead the way. When he picks his head up, his eyes are just milky white.
She's going to pull Baron with her as the cat makes its way towards the exit. And she starts to tell Baron about she's never been this far up. What floor are we on?
We're gonna leave. This is the top floor.
Will we see the sky?
You'll see a sky.
as we move towards the door, remembering the crabs, I'm going to reach in and just grab one more thing of flash powder as well as I can with a now crippled hand.
Colin's gonna, without looking in any direction, go. Anyone there?
We're right here, Colin.
I can't see.
Ooh. I'll arms still burning from the injury. I'm going to actually put my hands on you and I'm going to start like leading you.
So he'll get up.
I'll start. I'll stay on you, and I'll stay like helping you go just where we need to go.
Yeah.
Melian's going to be try to be the first one to the door to get it open, so that if the crabs are there and trying to come after us, she can get the flash powder out and get it going.
As you go to open the door, just as your fingers touch it, it opens. And there is Captain DeVere. And he looks afraid. And you never saw this man with more than excitement on the boat. And you hear him shout back, "I found them!" And there's a moment where this large bear of a man, he hugs Maylene. And you hear, "Where have you been? We've been looking for you for weeks."
It's been weeks?
It didn't feel like it'd been weeks to you.
Maylene is just going to be flabbergasted a moment and say, we weren't even gone a day."
He kind of he has picked her up in his happiness, and you see him, and he's like reaching for the next person, and he stops. It's been 19 days.
That is entirely too much to unpack right now. And she'll whisper, "Do we have containment on the boat?"
He thinks about it. Candela's shiny glass box. We've got one of those. Don't know how glass is supposed to protect you, but I don't ask questions.
Can you have...
He's holding the door open. We need to go.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, as soon as he puts me down, I'm going to say, have your men get a bed in there at the very least. This little girl is a host. And that is under my breath, as quiet as I can.
You see people rounding out of the other buildings up top as they're happy to see you, but now they need to go because you notice now that this floor, the top of this compound is tilted.
Oh, shit.
As if it is caving on itself.
I'm going to start, again, leading Colin out towards, wherever the Inscrutable 4 is, if I can see it. Or, where if I can see, yeah, I'll start making it. I'm going to say, as I'm passing by the captain, I'm also going to say, we've got another passenger, and I could be wrong, but I think she's pretty hungry. You may want to get some food ready as well. She's kind of been through a lot.
The captain nods, and we'll get it handled. And you all rush to the boat, and there are people. They're getting back on this boat as fast as they can. This search party is 8 people strong, and the captain said they've been looking for you for 18 days. 19 days. This is the 19th day. And you all get on the boat, and they follow their path out. The containment box was not big enough for a full bed, but she does get a cot and a blanket, and food is made for her because there is food on this ship all day. And along the travel back, you hear conversation from the crew of rumors that there's no navigation on the ship. And you're well away from the well. You should almost be back home as the days pass and there's no navigation on the ship still. Some nights half of the ship doesn't have power, but nothing wants to get close enough to it to test what the ship is. The ship docks. You're understanding how their unshakable faith in Captain DeVere, despite the ships have sunk, the crew always makes it home. And you, despite being part of Candela, are part of the crew. And you've made it home. Are you keeping her in the containment box to take her back to headquarters?
Mm-hmm.
Has she exhibited any signs of, like, kind of losing control?
Not any worse than she did in the vault.
Okay, but
Would
she
we
is still...
have at any point sedated her? I think that's
Yeah.
what probably
Mhm.
with some of your special medications you got in your backpack there.
I don't have a backpack.
Oh yeah, that's right. We
We
left it.
teleported out.
Yep. That's right.
Damn. Harsh.
I think even if we are keeping her in the containment, we made a promise to get her tarts, so Maylene is going to try and get those to her before we take her back to headquarters.
Okay.
Pretty sure we probably would have tried to at least keep her pleased and
At
healthy.
at any given point that I'm sitting there with her, because I don't think I would leave. It's a kid, and like Baron is very keen on that, as like kids need to be safe, and I think that he would look over, because he's also not gonna let her out this box, but he would also like look, and he would just say, I mean, I get not having a name and all, but like, would they call you, little girl? Would they call you?
The subject?
Cool. My name is Baron, though, and it's not my actual name, but it's what I go by. What do you want us to call you?
I don't know.
Well, you think that up and you let me know, and then that'll be your nickname.
I think. Where are you having this conversation at?
Wherever this box is.
I'm pretty sure we're all trying to make sure she's not having an episode. But if Colin was nearby, he probably would have added to the combo.
Yeah.
How about Sky?
She kind of looks down. But I'm not blue.
Smiles. That's all right. You don't need to be blue.
So how I want to know how you're getting her tarts into the box without at least opening it.
You know, if I gotta open the box to get tarts to her, I'll have everyone else stand back and be like, "We're keeping this promise,"
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I will open.
Wait though.
Uh-oh.
I would stop and say, well, I mean, it makes sense that you want to open this box and give her these tarts, but I have a question for her first, and then I'd look and say, hey, not Sky, when we were in the facility that you were staying in, at one time I was in a library, and then I ran through the doorway and I wasn't in the library anymore and I was in somewhere else, and then we ran through the door again, we were somewhere else. Did you do that? Were you able to do that?
She looks thoughtful and confused.
Right.
I I I don't know. That sounds like a book.
So, here's my thought. If I were to make a deal with you and she gave you these tarts, I left a bag near the doorway to your room. Could you give that bag back to me?
She thinks about it. And she doesn't seem sure. And she says, maybe?
I mean, it's a deal then, right? He puts his pinky up against the window.
She just looks at it.
Yeah, I know she don't know what that means.
I can try.
All right, you got to focus on that though. When we gonna open the top and give you your tarts, and you got to focus on trying to get me my bag back. It's a deal.
Okay.
All right. He steps back and goes, "Yeah, go ahead."
All right. I'm going to, before I open it, say, "Can you please stand back a little bit? Don't want anyone to have an accident while we're doing this."
She
And then,
focused. It's a deal.
if she stands back, I will open up the box and place. I'm picturing that I went and got a bag of tarts, and I'm just gonna put the entire bag in there on a plate that I grabbed off the ship on our way out, and just pour them out.
Where are you at between the ship and the lighthouse? Would you say you're about halfway?
About halfway, yeah.
Okay. So as you open this box and you give her these tarts, the street lamp above you explodes.
I'll have to worry about that later.
And from that expanding outwards, every bit of light that is electric in the area goes out. Did you all look away from her, though?
No.
Well, I can't see anything, so.
Yeah, I would have looked up.
Yeah,
Right
the
at the
exploding.
exploding.
Yeah.
Nope.
Colin would have asked what's happening.
I'm fixated to see if my bag shows back up.
Just focused.
I am.
Well, it is dark here now, so.
That's where I live.
It may be submerged in wet.
But you see there's a moment of this. Someone is lighting a candle. And people are lighting just anything they can set on fire. And in it all, you hear screams in the distance. And as she's eating one of these tarts, Maylene, you feel the pressure of a bag pressed against you.
I will grab the bag and pull away.
But you have made it home. Well, to land. You have escort her the rest of the way. Your lightkeeper slides her through a doorway that works very much like the one you passed through in the vault. The containment box disappears through the other side of the threshold. She arranges for someone to look over Colin, to see if they can return his sight. There are doctors on hand who can alleviate some of the pain and the noticeable scarring that scars have effect that she directs the lot of you to. She informs you all that she will handle your debrief at a later date. You need to rest because at this point you've been gone for 26 days. And at this point, she announces this assignment from the Circle of Bone and Bloom closed.